Hello guys, I'm back. Haven't talked to you guys in a few days. I've was out of town again this weekend, so since I had today off, I worked on the radio. I wanted to show you. I took apart the tone control, and I took out the lovely tarry goo. Let's see. It's pretty nasty, actually. In case you've never seen it before, it's kind of, whoops, that's the piece of paper. Anyway, it's kind of chunky. I guess I must have thrown away the larger chunk I had as I make it fly across the thing here. But there's a couple ways you can do this. You can use, a lot of people just dig these out, and that's fine. I've seen some of these where the tar stuff is really hard, but in the case of, say, this one, it's actually pretty tame. I did actually take out my heat gun on low, and I ran it back and forth across the metal here. I don't know, about 30 seconds or so, and basically everything just kind of fell out. It didn't even came right off of the paper. It didn't get all gooey, and you don't want to heat it too much, because if this stuff starts smoking, boy, it stinks. I'll tell you. But what I did was I just double checked on the Philco forum, and just to make sure I was wiring this up correctly, because as you probably remember, my concern was the way it had been hooked up was just with the 0.22. And the difference between tone 1 and tone 2 was very, very bright and very, very muddy, in my opinion. Although I was just commenting on the thread that I wrote with this one, saying that I've never been very satisfied with these tone controls, probably because I'm here from the modern era where we had equalizers and stereo and all that stuff, but my experience with the tone controls, usually, most of the ones I have are 4 controls, and it's just like bright, muddier, and then sounding like you have your hand over your mouth when you're talking. So I mocked this up with the 400s. I've got some 1600s on order, just because this wire here connects to the wire here. A loose wire, if you can see it. Of course, no, you can't. And it goes directly to the plate of the output tube, and I guess you can get a voltage spikes on there that go well over 400. So 1600 won't kill me. I think they were 4 cents more than 600. So anyway, so just in case if you've never seen these before, here were the original caps that were inside. This one would be the 0.01, I think. Yeah, this is the 0.01, and this is the 0.02. So I'm going to go ahead and set that aside. They were separated by this piece of paper in there. So I did all the rewiring I wanted to do. The lamp is put in. The lamp wire, I put the new grid cap wires in. You can see one here, and the other one actually is on top. Well, the other two are on top, and the lamp wire is down at the bottom here. You can see that yellow right there. Originally I tried to splice onto the old wire because I just hate using all that wire, but when I went to go string this back through, it broke apart again. So I snipped it off and decided I'll just go all the way back to up to the heater string. And let's see, so the wiring has been done. The condenser, or the tuning condenser, is back on with the rubber grommets. As you can see, those nice eraser colored ones there. Oops, dang it. Alright, there you go. And the lamp wire is here. Okay. Alright, and the grid cap wires here. One goes to the tuning condenser. This one I had a real pain. It was a pain because I was able to get this off without much of a problem, but this wire is a lot thicker and stiffer than the wire that I took out, which was this. And see, that's right where the wire was shorting up on the block there. So consequently, it did not want to go back on, and if you can see here, maybe you can't see the mohawk, that's for sure. Okay, and I kind of, this got bent up a little bit here. I'll live. It's back on, and well, let's hope I didn't break any of those little wires that are in there. That's one of the reasons why you got to be really careful when you take these off. Alright, and as you can see, I'm still waiting for the weather to cooperate. It's been warm enough the last 2 days to do lacquering, but of course yesterday we had 20-mile-an-hour winds, and today we had 40-mile-an-hour gusts. And that doesn't work out too well with lacquer, especially here in Texas when it gets dry like it is this week, or today, and dust gets blowing around. Although, from what I've learned from lacquer is, apparently it's crack for every gnat in a 10 square mile radius, and a lot of times you end up with bugs all over it. It's just lovely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the eventually I'll hit the cabinet with a little bit of one or two coats of, I talked to Ron Ramirez about it, and he posted it. Let me see if I had the post up and then, you know, got busy doing something else. Where is it? Okay, so what Ron Ramirez said to do was hit it with the front, hit it with, you can spray 2 light coats of medium walnut tone finish on the front panel, let it dry, carefully mask off the center section of the front panel, cover everything with from the grooves in, and let's see, and the bottom exposed, and then spray no more than 2 light coats of perfect brown ultra classic, which is the opaque. It's not this. It's the oh yeah, it is the see-through there, and let dry. Carefully remove the masking. Finish by applying a couple of coats of lacquer, of clear lacquer. Let dry. Apply the Philco decal, and then 2 more coats of clear lacquer. And then you put in a note. By the way, when masking, I recommend using the green frog tape. Do not use 3M blue masking tape. Do not ask me how I know. So I'll take that as gospel. He knows more than I do. And so probably be well done with the chassis far before I ever get to tone put the lacquer on it, on the radio. So I don't know if you noticed in the background, I think what I'm going to do, tomorrow's going to be a busy day because I had today off, so as I usually say, no 3-day weekend goes unpunished, so I expect tomorrow to be hell. Although most every day for me at work is hell. So I'm really done with all the wiring here. I also replaced the 2 resistors that I didn't like, the 2 that were in series here, because this is supposed to be 750 kilo ohms, and with the 2 in series in there, it was reading out at 885, I think, and that's beyond 10%, and I kind of like to, if they want 750, I kind of like to get it at 750, although that's kind of bitten me in the butt before, and that'll be something else I'm going to try on another radio, and it blows bulbs after I did that. So this one actually read out at exactly 750 kilo ohms, so I was pretty impressed. I get kind of, like I said, I try to get kind of anal with this stuff, and I tested, this is the 3rd one out of the batch I bought that I tested that actually came out exactly at 750. I replaced the 1.5 mega ohm down here. As you probably remember, that's the one that was ohming out at 5.1 mega ohms, so it was definitely bad. And geez, that's it. So basically, like I said, I'm ready to put this thing back together. My dial, I'm not sure when it'll be here. The speaker wire is still back ordered, as I mentioned. And I may just have to braid some wire for testing. I've got, you know, this white wire you've seen in all of my videos. I've got about 50 feet of that left, and it is it is 600 volt wire, so I may braid that or not. I mean, just hook it up temporarily with the speaker to make sure this all works if that wire doesn't come in. So like I said, I'm going to test up some tubes. I want to test the tubes in the Atwater Kent and the tubes in the 16B. So I grabbed my Hickok stuff, and I don't know if I'll do a video on it. I think there's plenty of videos out there. I've got a Hickok 600A from 1968, so it was one of the, I think it's 68, one of the later models. And actually it's got a gold top on it, which was apparently only on the later models. So it's the same color as the 6000, if you know what that is. But one of the things that, excuse me, with all this wind and dust, I of course can't breathe. One of the reasons I chose the 600 originally was because they made 1 million of these things, well, probably literally, and they're available everywhere, and a lot of people have them. And especially good is this here from stevejohnson.com, I think is his address. I get some schematics from him. Oh, actually, this is from Stan Seeger. But anyway, this is a culmination of years of tube testing data. This is one of the reasons why I picked up the 600A. Not to mention that, but it's rather compact. I don't have a lot of space to have tube testers lying around, so I needed kind of a one catch-all tube tester, and I think the 600A is it. It obviously has some limitations. Some people would tell you you want one of the laboratory ones, but I don't know. With all the stuff that I read out there, there's a lot of snobby people out there. So anyway, this has always done what I needed it to do. And just remember, as far as tubes go, the ultimate test of a tube is how it works in a radio. So some tubes that test rather bad work wonderfully. So there you have it. Anyway, so I'm going to end this now because it's 13 minutes long. And I will give you an update when I do some more work. Take care.